Hi everyone! This is Rizal, and for today's video, magbabahagi ako ng aking mga kaalaman na natutunan mula sa kursong Rizal's Life and Works. Years ago, on June 12, 1956, the Republic Act 1425 was signed by President Ramon Magsaysay. Ang batas na nagsasaad na maituro sa lahat ng paaralan at mga kolehiyo ang buhay, gawa at mga isinulat ni Dr. Rizal. Ngunit ang pagkapasa naman ng batas na ito ay mariing pinatulan ng simbahang Katoliko dahil pag binasa daw ng mga bata ang mga libro ni Rizal, maaari daw sila mawala ng pananampalatayang simbahan dahil sa pag-question daw ni Rizal sa mga pare at sa doktrina. Ngunit ang paggawa ng batas na ito ay mayroon ding kompromises para maipasa.
Isang kompromise na ginawa nila ay pwede mong sulatan ang kinauukulan ng inyong paaralan na ma-exempt ka kung ikaw ay Katoliko sa pagbabasa ng mga nobela ni Rizal. Ngunit, hindi ka exempted sa pagkuha ng kursong ito. Jose Portasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Realonda was born on June 19, 1861 at the town of Calamba, Laguna. His parents are Teodora Alonso Realonda and Francisco Mercado Rizal. His siblings are Saturnina, Pasiano, Narcisa, Olimpia, Luciana, Maria, Concepcion, Josepa, Trinidad, and Soledad, and he is the seventh child of the family. The national hero Jose Rizal left the country in May 1882 to pursue further studies abroad. He enrolled in a course of medicine at the Universidad Central de Madrid in Spain. In June 1883, he traveled to France to observe how medicine was practiced there. After his 3-month sojourn in France, Rizal returned to Madrid and thought about publishing a book that exposed the colonial relationship of Spain and the Philippines, with the publication of the novel Noli Me Tangere in Germany. This idea was realized in March 1887. Rizal returned to Manila in August 1887, after his 5 years in Europe. However, his homecoming was met with the friars' furor over Noli Me Tangere. The Archbishop of Manila issued an order banning the possession and reading of the novel, an order that was later reinforced by the government general. 6 months later, pressured by the Spanish authorities as well as by his friends and family, he left the country and avoided further persecution. Rizal left Manila to Hong Kong. From Hong Kong, Rizal traveled to Macau and Japan before going to America, entering San Francisco, California in April 1888. He visited the state of Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Nebraska, Illinois, and New York. He jotted down his observations of the landscape in this diary. Rizal arrived in England in May 1888. In August, he was admitted to the British Museum where he copied Antonio de Marga's massive study of the Philippines, Successos de las Islas Filipinas, which Rizal later annotated for publication as the gift to the Filipinos. In the museum, he devoted his time reading all the sources of the Philippine history that he could find. He kept his correspondence with various Filipino, including his family, who were being oppressed by the Spanish religious landowners, the Filipino patriot in Spain, and his Australian friend Ferdinand Blumentritt, with whom he planned to form an association of Philippine scholars. From 1888 to 1890, he shuttled between London and Paris, where he wrote ethnographic and history-related studies, as well as political articles. He also frequently visited Spain, where he met with fellow Filipino intellectuals like Marcelo H. del Pilar, Mariano Ponce, and Graciano Lopez Haina. In March 1891, Rizal finished writing his second novel El Filibusterismo in France. He planned to publish the book in Belgium, but was financially hard up. His brother's support from back home was delayed in coming, and he was scrimpling in meal and expenses. Finally, in September 1890, El Filibusterismo was published in Ghent using donations from Rizal's friend. After staying for some time in Hong Kong, Rizal came home to the Philippines on June 1892.
novels are similar in a way that they both talk about how Spaniards abused their powers and the discrimination of Filipinos. They convey one story because the latter is published in sequel or continuation. However, they are different in many cases.
Firstly, Noli Me Tangere, Latin title meaning Touch Me Not, refers to the letter of John 20:17 in King James Version of the Bible. As Mary Magdalene tried to touch the newly risen Jesus, he said, "Touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father." Meanwhile, El Filibusterismo is a Spanish title which is known in English as The Reign of Greed. Noli is a love story or a romantic novel dedicated to our motherland, while El Fili is a political novel associated with revenge and anger and is dedicated to Gamborza. Noli showed a soft-spoken, patient, compassionate, and idealistic Crisostomo Ibarra, while El Fili featured a different Ibarra who portrayed the angry and the vengeful side of him, and disguised himself as Simon. Noli is written in the idea that would expose the ill of Filipino society.
In general, Noli Me is more in the reformist side of Rizal, while El Fili is his revolutionary.
Rizal was sent to the Pitan in the reasons of he published books and articles abroad that shows disloyalty to Spain, anti-Catholic and anti-friar. He was accused that the novel El Filibusterismo was dedicated to the three priests Gamborza, which was proven traitors against Spain. On July 15, 1892, aboard a steamer from Cebu, Rizal sailed to the Pitan, a province of Zamboanga del Norte, Mindanao. He arrived at the Pitan at July 17, 1892 at 7 in the evening. Captain Delga handed Rizal to Don Ricardo Carcinero, who was the Spanish commandant of the Pitan. Rizal lived with Don Ricardo Carcinero's house for him to oversee Rizal's activities. Rizal admired the kind, generous Don Ricardo even though he is a Spanish captain. In return, Don Ricardo sent good reports regarding Rizal to the government. On July 31, 1896, Rizal's 4-year exile has ended due to Blumentritt's recommendation that he volunteer his service in Cuba, which has been later accepted by Governor General Ramon Blanco. On September 30, on his way to Barcelona, Rizal was arrested and was confined on his cabin. Moreover, Rizal's name kept coming up in the investigation of those arrested in connection with the revolution, suspected of being the revolution's secret leader. He was accused of rebellion, sedition, and forming illegal association. He was held prisoner at Fort Santiago while hearing on his trial is still ongoing. On December 29, Rizal was informed that he would be executed the following day. At December 30, 1896, 7 o'clock in the morning, Rizal was executed before a firing squad at Bagong Bayan.
At dito nagtatapos ang video na ito. Thank you for watching and paalam!